Oh.
Okay, and we're live. This is episode 3 of the Cold Ale and the Sober Snail. This is sort of our 5th episode, I guess. Me and David did 2 live episodes. We've been running into some copyright issues. We recorded over and our reactions to the Democratic national debates. They were hard to watch, to say the least. So if you want to put yourself through that torment along with us, they are still up on our Twitch channel. As far as the recorded audio and stuff, we have a little copyright issue right now with YouTube, but we thought they were fair use. Apparently they're not. So I'm going to need to strip out the parts that are in violation, and we'll get those uploaded as soon as possible. Right now, though, so we're on our 3rd episode. Now, we are actually missing one of our members, our sober anchor, maybe you would call him, as his Tim. He is out on, I believe, a family vacation or something.
I think that's what he said.
He'll certainly be back next week. So we thought we'd do something a little more fun this year. We sort of have a typical format we want to follow where each member brings a topic, something like that, and sort of leads the discussion. But I think what we want to do today is a little different. Without our sober anchor, we've each got a significant amount of beer, and I think we're going to just do... Me and David kind of started this. We did what we called 3 bold predictions for the Democratic debate.
Now if you don't watch the debate, all you got to take away from that is I made the prediction before it started that Beto O'Rourke would do his opening in Spanish, and absolutely nailed that one.
Right on the money.
Fucking nailed it.
Couldn't believe it myself. But I'll be
So
damned, he
proud.
did. So we're going to do the same thing today, but we're going to do it about life. So we're going to do it about the future, what we see. Now, I've broken it down, and we're going to use this format. We're going to start with a bold statement about what's going to happen in a year, a statement about 10 years, and then a statement about our lifetimes. So I think this will be fun. It'll be something that we can kind of lead our discussion. We're going to probably drink a little too much and just sort of see where this goes. I've got a couple alternative ones too in the pipe in case we run short or run long or however we want to do this. So it's gonna be pretty free going. I'm sure these aren't going to be. Some of them might not make sense. Who even knows? We sort of threw a monkey wrench. Yeah, we sort of had to call an audible because Tim said he wasn't going to be here. So
just crack a beer with us and go along for the ride.
What are you drinking, Ben?
I am drinking Fat Tire.
Good
I
stuff.
haven't had it in a while. I remember it used to be the holy grail of beer back in college. Remember when you could only get it in certain places?
Oh yeah.
Now you could pretty much get it anywhere. And my father-in-law, we had family over for 4th of July, of course. My father-in-law was talking about, man, he'd really like to try Fat Tire. So I actually went out and searched. I found it. I've still got some left over sitting in the cooler next to me. So that's what I'm drinking today.
Awesome.
Pruitt,
There you
go for it. What do you got?
I got circa December, Very Bad Elf from Shelton Brothers. It's not bad. It's an ale, and I usually do not enjoy ale at all.
Berry juice.
It's apparently
Delicious.
some kind of.
Bet
It's
you like that.
apparently, I guess. It's a special reserve ale from England, which tastes like fucking loser.
You heard it here first.
Still running high on 4th of July.
David, what do you
Maybe I
think?
should talk. I picked up a beer from Commonwealth Brewing. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's in Spanish or some other foreign language.
El beer.
Papi Chulo, I think is how you pronounce it.
I couldn't pronounce Happy Chulo.
It's Indian Pale Ale, 6.5%.
Oh,
Super delicious.
Awesome. So I thought we'd go real quick, just talk about kind of how our weeks went. This was a short week for everybody in America because I'll be damned, the July 4th celebrations were around, and it was great.
the day history began.
I'm going to try to hurry through mine because I'm sure David probably has the most interesting story. I had a pretty good weekend. Of course, short work week. Had the family over, which was great. Had some good food, made really good drinks, and just did it the way it was supposed to do. The only thing we kind of missed was fireworks because I didn't think you'd be allowed to light off fireworks in my suburb where I live. And apparently you totally can. So next year I'll be ready.
Awesome. You can definitely get some good deals out there.
Yeah. Well, we live well, fuck it, I'll put it. I live right near the Mason-Dixon line, so we have fireworks stores everywhere because everybody who can't get good fireworks just comes over here. And,
Right. If you don't know how to get
yeah.
fireworks that are, illegal for your state, say you have restrictions in your state, as soon as you cross state lines, they take your license plate number and they say, hey, you're responsible for knowing your own state laws. They pretend like they don't know, and they just let you buy whatever you want.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind anytime you see a fireworks store. Don't buy them in your state. Buy them in the state next door.
I used to think like Pennsylvania sucked, but apparently they're like really good. So.
Oh yeah.
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 So why don't we go to Pruitt quick, and then we'll move to David.
Yeah, I had a lot of the same. I got done work Wednesday. That was nice. Fiance gives me a call. Her car starter died again, so that was fun. Spent all of the third waiting for a tow truck.
You just bang on it with a hammer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, right?
No, that's actually true. No, for starters, that is
starter.
Actually,
yeah, okay.
No kidding.
No, yeah, I had it happen to me before. Couldn't get it started. Called AAA. They're like, just hit it with a hammer. And by God, it worked. Because the fines or whatever get like built up over time, and so it's not loose.
We replaced it 2 weeks ago.
No,
fuel injection. Yeah.
No, for starters, it works too.
I'll be damned.
Get you like an extra month,
But we took it back to where we got it repaired. And then we didn't have to pay anything for it because it was still like under warranty of the part. Right. So all the labor, tow truck, we just billed it all to the group that made the starter. So that was nice. But then for like 4th, 5th, 6th, it was just fireworks and grilling. And I have a whole newfound love for pork tenderloin because I made it probably like 6 times in 3 days. And it just kept getting better. Oh my God.
Where's the lamb sauce?
Yeah, right. Where's the lamb sauce? Like screaming at people and shit. Oh my God.
Well, apparently I suck at pork.
Amazing.
I don't know how I cook
really?
It, so you'll have to tell me.
I don't like pulled pork because it just tastes like sugar to me.
Shut your
time anyone. I'm just saying.
Pulled pork is delicious.
Oh, ding dong. Better. Whatever, fucking Dave.
All right.
How's your 4th, Tommy?
My 4th was elegant. Yeah, well, I had the whole family down, which was great to see all of them. Stayed at my apartment, and then my work was catering a 4th of July celebration because our building can overlook all of the monuments. So we had the best seats in the house, as far as I'm concerned. Air conditioning, all kinds of food catered, all the beer that I could, stock in the fridge. It was great. And then we we walked outside for on the rooftop. And got to see, what was an incredible display. I mean, it was double the fireworks Washington, D.C. has ever had. So they had one main display that started at, 9:07. And then 15 minutes later, the second one starts.
Jesus.
And usually, let's do it. What about 2? And it was really cool because, usually you see maybe 2 or 3 big explosions at once. This was 5 every time, and then multiples, it covered up the whole skyline. And then wherever you looked, there was maybe 20 other people lighting off fireworks too throughout the skyline. So it was just nuts. But before that was also Donald Trump's flyover for his salute to America, which I thought was really good because, it wasn't political at all. It was just very rich in history and celebration of our military. So he went through one by one branches. Yeah, exactly. One by one, the branches of the military. He would talk about them. So he started with the Coast Guard, their significance. And then he'd say, he's like, in a moment, and you'll see such and such fly over. And we were watching him inside. We found, a TV to watch on C-SPAN, his speech. And then we looked behind us, and out the window, there it was, just flying over. The timing was great. It was really cool. So you'd talk about the next branch of the military, and then you'd look over and you'd see, a B-2 bomber. I had no idea they were that big, but it was the
spirit.
That has to be terrifying to see because it just takes up so much of the sky.
Well, it was probably pretty low, right?
Yeah, it was really low.
On a bombing run. I don't know how what standard.
You wouldn't even see it.
That's true. Yeah, stealth bomber.
As soon as you just look up, you hear a.
Right. and then it's just 3 blocks of parking lot beneath it.
Right. All right.
Goddamn.
Okay. Well, there we go.
That's fucking awesome.
So yeah, I think David definitely wins 4th of July. as far as that goes, because seeing the president speak in DC is one to remember, no doubt about it. So before we go into this bold predictions thing, I just wanted to have a brief discussion of what we could bet on these predictions. Now, I understand it's going to be kind of hard to hold each other to the
I didn't know we were doing this. Mine's a little dark, so I don't want mine to come.
That's all the better.
Man, we won't do anything super. I did kind of.
Wait till you hear the bet.
I sprung this on them kind of last minute. So, let's make it. We can just do like an easy. If you get one right, the other two.
Each other's anal virginity.
Right. Okay. Sure. I mean.
Your virginity?
you're assuming that everyone still has theirs, but.
Wait. I don't like this anymore. Oh no, I'm out first.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Pruitt, you're like the government. You can't give what you don't already have.
Motherfucker.
So how about let's just make it this way. If you get one right, the next time these two guys see you, they owe you a beer. Pretty simple.
That's fair.
Let's keep it.
I mean, if it's the theme of the channel.
I love a good, like, awful bet to really humiliate somebody.
I don't think these are of that caliber, but
no. But I just remember seeing this one thing on the internet. These guys did like their fantasy football loser had to walk through the street in like underwear, a thong or something, and they were doing the shame thing behind them with the bells. So that was pretty great, yeah. So I love humiliating bets. I think it's fun. We'll go tame at least on this one.
Shame.
Yeah. So who wants to kick it off with their bold statement about 1 year in the future? Now keep in mind, this takes us 1 year. So this takes us which I actually just realized now I screwed up. Let's mark the
like
one
up to a year.
Well, mine's kind of about the 2020 election, so
okay.
Let's make it within the year.
All of 2020.
Yes,
that's fair. That's
that way.
Okay,
that works for mine.
Yeah. Okay. Deal.
That's fair.
Who wants to start? I can kick it off if you want. Pruitt. All right. I love it. Go ahead.
Cory Booker will be brought up on charges for bringing illegals into the country. I think that is within the complete realm of possibility. And
what's the story behind this?
Yeah, now you have to
so he walked over the border and brought 5 illegals like into the country to be like, oh, come into our country, we're America. I'm like, that is so fucking illegal. Like he just
a blatant violation of federal law.
I'm like, that is you just broke federal law.
Was he like out there like cutting the fence?
No, he like walked over and then like walked back with them all. Like obviously a PR.
I have to assume it was a full PR stunt. Like they were just Mexicans that live here, and he just.
I want to assume.
Had to.
But. I
would love to see it. Don't get me wrong.
I do too.
Oh my god, that would make my month.
I'm gonna laugh so hard.
I like that one. I don't
not
think
bad,
you're gonna win it.
I think that.
No, I don't think it's gonna happen. You can always blame someone else.
So that's in the year.
He can still be brought up on charges, and that's what I said.
That is true.
Okay.
All right, I got one.
Of indictment.
Don't want it to be true. No.
Wait, David, let me just stop you right there.
Okay.
I told these guys before we started to try to stay away from politics.
It's not politics.
I know. But I was like, Pruitt starts off with Cory Booker. Anyway.
Because I think it's the most plausible.
We've done a lot of politics, and I don't want this to be completely political. But anyway, go ahead.
Anyway.
Mine's technology based. So I think this is going to happen pretty soon. And it's just how things are with technology. But drones are absolutely terrifying. And we haven't caught on yet to like thinking about when you go to a crowded area, like looking for drones that could be terrorists, used for terrorist attacks and bombs or whatnot. But like, I think that's as soon as that catches on, it's gonna be like, how do you prevent that?
So you're saying
how do you safeguard yourself?
Like a drone-based terrorist attack or some sort of
I think it's
foreign invasion by drone?
People are going to become more and more concerned about drone attacks for terrorist attacks. Like 2 years ago, we had trucks, right? You still have those. Like,
trucks of peace.
Right.
Yeah, and now drones have even less regulations than trucks, or cars, right? So
that's true.
very easy to build yourself. Their payloads are bigger and bigger. Batteries are better and better. It's pretty terrifying.
Yeah, I like
That's
that.
plausible.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I could totally see that happening.
I mean, I don't like that, but
it doesn't mean that there's not gonna. It doesn't mean that there's not gonna be a way to fight that. So we might be able to figure something out with a drone blocker,
a 12 gauge,
or 12 gauge.
Right. Literally everyone's
shot.
Everyone's out on their porch just shooting drones down. ISIS got drones.
So that might be bad for Amazon because it's like, well, wait up now. How do we know this isn't like a? How do you know it isn't gonna like explode?
Yeah.
Because they could be disguised as an Amazon drone. You'd think, Amazon, look, it's safe.
Yeah. It's just Unabomber 2.0.
I don't want to be too that guy, but I have a bit, just the industry I work in, I have a little bit of insider information on the Amazon drones, and all I'm going to say is they're going to be here before you expect it. Quick. And I can't wait to see how they're integrated. They're essentially going to be FAA regulated, so they're going to have their own airspace, apparently, like a certain altitude. I don't know. I can't wait to see it, though. I think it's going to be fascinating. As long as it's...
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. But the thing I also thought about, though, is that these drones, I'm sure, are outfitted with cameras. Because they have to, I'm pretty sure they have to record their flight data. But what other data are they collecting while they're out there? You know what I mean?
Right.
It's GPS.
Yeah. I think it's going to be very interesting how these companies work. How they... The new ways that they figure out how to market and sell you, basically, is going to be, So, that's a really good one, David. I actually was going to touch on drones on one of mine, but I stayed away from it. Yeah. So, moving on to mine. So, this is my bold statement. And I don't know if this is bold enough. So if I need to make it bolder, let me know. I will. My bold statement is, I think as a this is just me setting it up. As a general consensus, we all think Trump's going to do very well in 2020. Am I correct?
Yep.
I think he's going to win pretty handedly.
If nothing changes at this point, yes. But if there's a war, stock market collapse, there's a lot of time between now and then. But as of today, I think he just cleans house.
Just wait for another Democratic debate.
It's bad. But I think that there's going to be an even bigger winner that day, and I think it's going to be marijuana. I think that in the next year, so in 2020, I think we're going to see sweeping marijuana legalization. Either full legalization or there's a few holdouts. You know what I mean? I just think it's coming. I think it's coming fast. I think this next election it's going to be targeted pretty substantially. And
there's no reason Republicans shouldn't jump on that and own it.
Yeah.
Right away.
And trust me, this is coming from I'm not a stoner. I don't really smoke weed, or I don't smoke weed. And I dealt with it a lot when I was a cop, and it was the dumbest shit I ever had to deal with. It was so not worth your time. I never once had to issue. Now, I didn't ever arrest anybody for weed, well, except for one, a couple possession with intent. But the people who were just smoking weed in their house and that sort of thing, they're not hurting anybody. And I think all of us are pretty much in agreement here on this podcast that we would definitely be fine with it being legalized. And I think that it's coming quick. I think it's coming. I think this election, it was a big winner last time around in 2018. And I think it's going to be an even bigger winner. I think in this next year, so by December 2020, I think that we're going to see major marijuana legalization, if not just countrywide legalization.
And the greatest thing about that is, dude weeds can stop talking about marijuana.
Oh my God, I can't wait.
There's so much research out there now that basically says that once you take away the criminalism, I'm sneaking around, I'm smoking weed, kids don't even care anymore. It loses.
Yeah, they won't do it.
It's kind of like alcohol. It's once you turn 21, it's ooh, whoop-de-doo. So,
That's interesting.
Yeah,
I hadn't thought of that.
Yep. That's my 1 year major prediction I think is going to happen. So
that's pretty good.
All right. Next one is 10 years. So 10 years. So let's say we mark it at January 2020. So you're looking at anything in the 2020s to 2030. I think that's a good time frame. So let's get back to Pruitt again. And see what
well, I want to preface this with I had to kind of brainstorm this one a little bit.
This
Initially, I wanted to
this is
say
the hardest, I think.
Initially, I wanted to say that the classic internet debate, "Are traps gay?" is going to hit a national scale. But because that's not bold and/or specific enough, I think we're going to see once again still a debate, but on a national scale, and then legislation following about what is a male and what is a female. And
within 10 years or like
so you
one?
Think this is going to go?
Oh, in 10 years, easy. It's going to go like 3-4 years, and then there's going to be someone like, it's either going to be the hyper common sense candidate, like, no, you're A or B.
So you think there's going to be a definitive, like,
they're going to put it in law, because like you have like your chromosomal like disorders, you'd be like XXY, or you're like,
don't they already have that?
Dude.
Like,
yeah, exactly.
But they already have that for your birth certificate.
Imagine that. But apparently that's not a thing anymore.
Okay.
So you're basically saying transgenderism is essentially going to be defined by a law.
By law.
By law. Okay.
By law. 100%.
Yeah, I think
don't doubt it at all.
I don't know if we would even have a choice. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like these
with the sport, what's happening in sports? Yeah.
You have to,
kids,
right?
You know.
Yeah, do you like dudes beating up women in sports?
I don't know if we're gonna have a choice. I mean, you've seen how like the favorite.
Motherfucker. Oh, you got me with beating women again.
But you've kind of seen how the left has been really trying to sort of weaponize the court system in the last really forever.
Roe v. Wade.
Yeah, just junk, garbage legislation like that. Yeah. I think that they are going to, I think you're right in saying that someone or a group of people is going to push that issue all the way. Until it is.
And they won't shut the fuck up.
I think that's a very plausible, if not almost guaranteed, that in 10 years we're gonna have to figure it out. I would even say quicker than that. Yeah. It's one of those things that, like, even as someone who comes from like more of a, I of course define myself as a conservative, but I guess I think we're all a little more libertarian than conservative in a lot of ways. I don't none of us like the government telling us to do anything.
No, not at all.
Essentially, that's always my stance. Is the government
taxation is theft?
Absolutely. So the government really shouldn't have a say in anything, And I think that's what transgenderism is going to come down to. Is first of all, is the government even going to have a say? And then second off, like, how do you what is the protocol? What do you do? I mean, how do you handle?
Present your penis card.
Right. That really is. It's like, but that's not even enough because when you're super left, it's saying women who have penis, like men who have
men can get pregnant.
Men have a penis that identifies as a woman. That is a woman. It's like you're wrong.
Hey, just live your life.
It's really not. But yeah.
The more we talk about it, the more my brain shuts off.
Because it doesn't make it defies any sort of logic. And from people like us who are really more, what do they say, like right-brained or whatever, more mathematical, logical. Is that how it works? Right-brain, left-brain is like more...
It's left, but
left is creative.
It's junk science anyway.
It is junk science, but like just using it as a metaphor,
Yeah.
More like right-brain, technical people. It's just hard for us to wrap our minds around, so... Right, okay, so transgenderism will be fully defined by law, is what I'm going to leave that as.
There you go.
Okay, that's fair enough.
David, hit me with your...
okay, hopefully this is bold enough, but it kind of goes against, it's counterintuitive or what people expect, but I think autonomous vehicles are going to create more jobs than they will take away.
Oh, okay.
A lot of people see that as like, we need universal basic income or whatever. But I think, as long as there's people that are willing to pay for goods and services, you're always going to have an economy. So it's going to generate more jobs. And cars can get really weird as soon as they're autonomous. You could have like mobile offices and restaurants or bar, like whatever. Like you need a service to send, take any job that like someone usually has to be at a desk. Now you can put it in a car.
Yeah.
That opens up a whole world of opportunities that people haven't even thought of yet. So I think it's going to generate a lot of jobs. We're going to have to replace all these cars very, very quickly with autonomous vehicles. We're gonna have to build more electric cars because that's what they're gonna have to be.
Yeah.
And we're gonna have to build more power plants to then power all those cars because they won't be using oil anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So you got this whole new economy that's going to be just booming from autonomous vehicles and the technology that can bring. So.
Yeah, so you're straying away from the whole doom and gloom that a lot of, like Andrew Yang, we'll just call him out.
Yeah.
Andrew Yang is and I even though I disagree with Yang, I respect him for at least making an issue be discussed, and I like that about him. And I think what you're saying is, you instead of it being a doom and gloom, like, oh, he's going out of jobs, it's the end of the working man, that sort of thing. You're saying that it's actually going to create enough industry. And I think it also probably relates back to the idea of, like, just human ingenuity. Essentially, human, like, adapt, improvise, overcome, sort of, we always just find a way. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Like, every revolution, industrial revolution, textiles, everything that put work out of business supposedly just created more and more jobs and created more, a higher and higher standard of living.
Right. And that kind of always brings us back to my major criticism of Trump too, is the whole clean coal thing he used to like chant. It's a tough one because, we play video games with a coal miner, all the time, who makes his living off those coal mines in West Virginia. And, it would devastate that state if we got rid of coal.
Well, there's a way around that. They can still, coal shouldn't be penalized. I think it should be able to compete evenly. But even so, it can't compete with other fossil fuels or like natural gas. But West Virginia could be revolutionized if they did rare earth metals. Which aren't technically rare; they're just very hard to extract out of the earth.
Now,
China, all that stuff used in iPhones, rare earth.
Yeah, sure. Okay, platinum, copper, silicon.
China gets all of those out of the ground, and that's why
silicon's refined, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a big part of the trade war.
Right.
But I think the Trump administration had actually mentioned that if we turn all the miners from West Virginia into now rare earth, miners, now you've got a whole new industry for them to survive on.
Yeah, that's a very interesting idea. Yeah, I like that a lot.
And you can basically pull it out of any ground, just rare, and you just got to move a lot of earth.
Sure.
So once you set up that sort of flow, it becomes a little bit easier.
But David, what about the rare short-tailed beaver?
That's right. We may have to make some sacrifices.
Get that Wendigo.
Yeah. Okay.
That's why we do in China, because they can just poison their own land.
Yeah, I was. It's funny how we were along like the same thought. Is I was also going to do one on autonomous vehicles, but I couldn't really figure out where to place it because it's obviously coming, and it's coming really fast.
So mine is net jobs within 10 years from autonomous vehicle technology.
Yeah,
that's a solid one.
Yeah, that's really. So you really are playing like a 50-50 because I feel like it's going to either stack one way or the other. It really is going to be devastating. I guess if it goes bad, I'll have to scrape together my last few nickels to buy you a drink. Or if it goes good, no, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Okay, that brings me to my next one. I actually already sort of spoiled this one in our chat earlier, just because I was sort of using it as an example. So I said that in 10 years, we are going to be, and this might not even be bold, in 10 years I think we're going to put a man on Mars. But I think the bold part is that it's going to be done by a private company. And I think that's what's fascinating. So I don't think it's going to be NASA. And I would even argue, I think Elon has got the best shot at it, frankly. I really do. I think the guy...
Or Bezos, he's there too.
Yeah, that's true. But I think it's pretty clear. Like we are an explorative species. We always have been. If you really trace back history, there's always been like a new frontier that humanity has always pushed. And I think, and I know there's people that come out of the woodwork. Oh, we don't even know what's in the ocean yet. I fucking get it. Yeah, sure.
I don't want to fucking know.
But we also kind of
water pressure hard.
Yeah, we've been pretty deep. So I get it, but we've been around. But I think space is that next frontier. I think forward-thinking people understand that, and I think it's going to be pushed heavily in these next 10 years. Because once it gets going and we develop our own like Civil War space race type thing between like the U.S. government, Boeing, Jeff Bezos, and Elon Musk, like the wacky race from South Park. Once we get that rolling, stop him.
He's just out there in space.
Yeah, I mean, once we get that rolling, I think it's going to go quick, and I think we're going to be shocked how fast it moves and how fast we get to Mars, and we just take off from there. I think that's like our next initial step, and then it's going to be going. And
I think Bezos has a lot more potential, I would say, than Elon.
He's definitely got the money.
Yeah, he's got the cash. Yeah. I listened to the speech; it was very, very optimistic. Elon was even criticizing it, so you can already see like back and forth between the two of them.
Interesting.
But I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, Bezos could literally just buy out some of Elon's best engineers. Copycat. He could catch up. He could catch up within a few years, very, very quickly.
I still think there's a dead hooker in Elon's trunk.
Wow.
Yeah, and also in Seattle, Boeing is right there in Seattle too. So, and Boeing has a lot of the space technology as well from NASA.
Yeah, that's a great point.
I think Elon or Bezos can pull some strings. He's also moving.
You think he's going to partner with Boeing? Is that what you're saying? Like he would use their resources?
He could steal their talent, and he's also moving to basically D.C., Northern Virginia.
Yeah.
So he's definitely trying to pull some strings with politics and working maybe NASA or who knows. I think he could catch up very quickly. Is it Blue Origins or Blue something is his? He's already got a space company.
Oh, that's his. I'm not sure.
That's his.
I'd have to look it up. Okay. Wow. Hey, that's really interesting. Yeah, I think that's going to be my 10 years thing, and just a quick alternative. This isn't like my lifetime one, isn't this? But I think I'm hoping and praying that commercial, like private space travel is available. I would love to get into space before I die. I think that would be. I would love it.
Yeah, that would be like, oh yeah, I went bungee jumping or I went skydiving before I died. That would just like all the people that did that, like just that's nothing.
Yeah, right.
Have you been to space?
Yeah, right.
Have you left Earth?
I mean, the question then becomes like, at what? Like right now, if you have enough money, you could technically go, kind of.
Yeah, kind of.
So, what would be like the threshold? Like for a ticket, like $1,000 or like $10,000 or I don't know.
Probably
how much
like,
would you pay?
It'd have to be a lot.
Yeah, it'd be insane. It's like insurance fees and everything. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could do it. I mean, I tend to like black out on fast roller coasters.
Oh, I can fucking handle it.
Yeah.
I think I would just be like, I don't even remember being in space. Did we leave yet?
It's like Bernie Sanders says, David, no refunds.
People be taking pictures of me like Weekend at Bernie's floating around. Having a great time.
Yeah, that's funny.
All right. Oh my god.
Wow. Okay, so that's my 10 year. Yeah, I think
that's pretty
we're
good.
Man on the Moon in 10 or Man on Mars in 10 years. I think it's gonna be done.
Or woman.
You really don't care who it is.
Whoa.
Unfortunately, by that point, they probably won't have a choice. They probably won't be able to hire white male astronauts anymore.
That's true.
Okay. Now we are on to our third one, our lifetime. So this is a bold statement about something that's going to happen in your lifetime.
Okay.
I think Pruitt, you were going first. You want to knock
this
one out?
I'll keep it rolling.
All right.
So to keep with the whole like autonomous beings, autonomous vehicles. Yeah, I was gonna say. I'll let you reload for this one because it's a lot to digest. Yeah, Dave, I won't make you waste your beer.
We're moving over to a land shark because those are the two choices I had in that cooler, and this is what came out next.
Two good choices.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
My favorite summer beer.
So to keep that whole theme rolling, Ben, you're a little out of focus.
Yeah,
there it is. Look at that. It's trying. Things are going to become sentient. We're going to have to deal with AI, and it's inevitable. Elon's talked about it on Rogan's podcast, and if you listen to it, it makes you uncomfortable. It probably will a little bit, and it probably should. Like the whole like consciousness thing.
Well, when he started talking about robots moving so fast, you need a strobe light to see him.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
See, I was already mind blown when he said that we're already androids. Just
he was like the stuff you see from Boston Dynamics.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
I lost my damn mind. Anyway.
I was like, I can't handle this right now. But speaking of handling things, I hate doing household chores, doing the laundry, cleaning, cooking, all that mess. So I think it's inevitable these like sex robots you've seen talked about, they're just going to become like maids. Like, let's be honest. And I think that is a genius marketing idea because one, I would buy one, and two, it's great. And two, it's great because it's like, it's a Roomba, but it can like jerk you off. You're just like, hey, Veronica, like, come over here. Like, I'm tired. She just works one out. You take a nice little, like, 3-hour nap. You come home, fucking pants around your ankles, and the maid bot's just, like, cooking dinner, and your wife's like, what the fuck? And I'm like, I had a great day. But because Earth is the way we are and humans are the way we are, there's going to be groups that will campaign for AI sexual reproductive rights. It's basically going to be like women's suffrage 3.0 with robots. And I think the overwhelming amount of gives a fuck you're going to see is like nothing.
Did we skip 2.0 or I don't even want to know?
I don't know. I'm sure there'll be a second one.
Transgender people can already vote for it.
Exactly. Trans women's rights to be women, but you could be a guy that's pregnant and you're still a man. And I think blood's going to come out my nose.
So let me summarize.
Yes,
I took down a few notes. Sex robot maids, Roomba but can jerk you off, women's suffrage 3.0.
Yep. That's exactly it.
That might be 3 separate statements, but
I don't know. I feel like it's gonna be like one right after the other, and it's just this like 5 years, and then like afterwards, right when it happens, we were so living in the dark ages until we brought the sex robots to the real world with rights, and they're just gonna be like,
I mean, in all seriousness, you. Hold on, that might be the thumbnail for our video. I'm marking the time. So, in all seriousness, though, it is going to be interesting to see as AI and robotics and stuff advances. I mean, unfortunately, unfortunately, the sex industry is going to be the first to adopt it, as they almost always are, with Betamax.
And I respect them for that.
DVD.
You ever watch VR porn? It's wild, man. It gives you nothing but motion sickness. Oh my god, it's like watching a porno through a fishbowl. Wow. It's horrible. You're just like, oh my god. You're like, why is she like 30 miles away, but also like right on my peen?
Fascinating.
But anyway.
Okay, I think you're absolutely right. I would put that within 10 years. Honestly, you could have easily put that in the 10.
Oh my god, category. Man, I can get one in 10 years. Shit.
I bet. They already kind of have.
What are you getting married for?
The Japanese.
Yeah, right.
So I want to know. Yeah, what do you do if you're?
What?
So you'll be getting married soon.
Yeah.
This technology comes out.
Is it?
You see that as a conflict?
Yeah.
Is it cheating?
No.
It's
okay. It's like. Whatever, she can have a fucking vibrator.
Is Amanda home? Let's ask her.
I wish she was. She's fucking heard this conversation like a million times, and I'm like...
So you've already primed her brain.
Yes. I'm like, you gotta...
He's implanted the idea.
I'm like, you gotta accept this. It's
Inception here. Okay.
For like one like small like car down payment, I don't have to do shit in my house. The bitch can she has a lawnmower installed in her leg. She can just like skate along the yard, and guess what? I have a fucking perfect yard.
You gotta download the lawnmower app.
Exactly. And there's fucking attachment. There's
It'll probably just be Alexa just in robotic body.
She can clean herself. You don't have to fucking do anything.
That's what you should have said. You should have said, within my lifetime, Alexa gets a human body form.
You know what?
I'll let you have that one.
And it's between Siri, Alexa. It's between Siri, Alexa, and Cortana. And if Microsoft does not make Cortana, they will miss out on billions. Because every fucking sweaty neckbeard around my age is like, well, I'd fuck the blue chick, and they're gonna fucking buy it. They're gonna buy it. It's gonna happen. You can't tell me it's not, because every guy has that fucking caveman brain where it's like me like titty, and fucking you're gonna buy it. You're gonna buy it, and it's gonna have like a built-in like sous vide machine and everything. You're gonna be like, this is amazing.
I agree with pretty much everything you said. I don't know.
That scares me that you agree with everything.
But
it's not a human.
I mean, like, I agree that these things are all coming down the pipeline.
It's a tool.
I think housework is going to be a thing of the past eventually.
It's cheating if it starts drawing emotional.
Exactly. Right. Then you're fucked. But if it's just like, hey, like, bend over for like 5 minutes, know, like, that's not love.
But I'd rather you beat a robot than your wife. So I think it's a good thing
that's
for
another
some
thing
people.
Too. Hang on. Wait a minute.
I mean, maybe we should just stop and move on to the next one.
I don't know. We can keep going. I thought about this.
I think it is fascinating. It really is. I mean, I think humans are extremely perverted. They really are.
Oh,
I mean,
disgusting.
Think about women.
There's guys who jerk off to feet. Like, what the fuck? It's a foot.
For
it's
any of
on the
our
ground.
foot fetish listeners, we'd still like you to listen. We don't.
I don't. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Please like and subscribe.
Yeah, please donate to our Patreon.
Feet pics.
Send them to his inbox.
Fucking. And the reason I think this is completely gonna happen, you might be right, Ben, in 10 years, is Gamer Girl bathwater sold. And if you're gonna buy bathwater, if you're gonna buy bathwater,
all right, let's just go into this. So if you're, we've opened it. Let's go into it.
We opened Pandora's box.
So if you're not familiar with it, there's this,
which I don't know how you're not.
What we like to call, she's the ultimate e-thought, and we here at the podcast couldn't be bigger Belle Delphine supporters. I don't like Japanese culture. I don't really like anime. I don't like any of that stuff.
I don't really like the Japanese.
But she has got it. Well, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't like anime. I don't like Japanese games. I don't like any of that stuff. The point is that she dresses up in like the cosplaying, all that stuff. It's but I respect the hell out of her being able to just create a market like that, to the point where you could take a bath and essentially make like $30,000.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable.
That's
so
beautiful.
She resold her used bathwater.
Used bath, allegedly.
And it all sold out,
true.
allegedly.
And it sold out. Now, we don't know how many of them she actually made. I don't know if it was like 5 or 400. But the fact that even one sold is almost unbelievable. But it's really not. So,
but like, I can quote Ben as playing Smash, like, "Oh great, another fucking weeb with a sword." So like,
that's true.
Not a big fan of the whole jit.
We are all big Smash Brothers fans.
So
at this podcast.
What does it look like, Pruitt? Let's see yours.
Yeah,
my what?
Yeah, hold it up.
Oh my god!
Could you imagine just having that display? Like,
yeah.
Honestly, for a brief second, I thought about it.
Is that Belle Delphine's bathwater?
I thought about it, and then I looked at the price. It's like $30 for like a jar. I'm like, if it was 15, maybe for the joke. Maybe for the joke, because
all right, so that's your threshold for a joke is
$15.
Yeah. All right, $15. What's that?
I'm not balling on a budget yet.
Dude, it would be funny though to have.
How funny? Because then it's a conversation piece.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck is that?
I'm gonna assume that's probably
why do you have water over your
mantle? Bought it. You would think. I'm sure there. Okay, I'm sure there's like.
I want to hope
40% that bought it because they like wanted to drink it, and then like 60 that were like, dude, I just gotta buy this just for the joke. You know what I mean? Like, 'cause it is funny.
Yeah.
It's very funny.
The only way she could have did it better is if she did like a limited run of them, like a limited 100 jar run of it, and then gave them like serial numbers so that they could be then traded.
Oh yeah, oh my god, she could do like, a colored bath bomb. So you get like a blue angel or whatever it is, like good edition.
I mean that's why
rose gold bath water.
That's why these companies make so much money on like limited time.
Bella Delphine, if you're listening, here's some.
Yeah, right. I mean, and please come on the
podcast.
Send us samples.
We'll try the samples.
And also, you're always welcome on this podcast. We love to talk to you.
Oh my god, right? Oh my god, my buddy Ryan would cry. I sent him a picture of her once. She's like, "Yo, she's fine." I'm like, "I hope she's 18." I was like, I don't know, man. Yeah. I think she's 19, but like, she'd be hotter if she wasn't into like the weird like daddy kink shit. You know, it's like, why are you acting like you're 15?
I don't know.
Come on.
Yeah, I can't say.
Like you're attractive. She's also like, Amanda saw an article about it and asked me, so I just spend about an hour and 45 minutes explaining to her what she is, what she's done, how I found her, and then what she has continued to do. I was like, all right, here's the first video I saw, and then she's like, what the fuck is she doing? I was like, all right, wait for it. So she's sitting there and like she has like a tiny bra and like a thong, and then she just like takes an egg and like throws it at a mirror, and then she's like, what the fuck? So exactly. So then Amanda's like, do you think I could do this? I'm like, babe, fucking go for it. Like, support me.
You'd never have to work
support me. No, I'll just be
great.
fucking trophy husband material, like my life dream, and then fucking done.
Preach.
There we go. Right?
Well,
What man doesn't want to be that?
Most men want to do something with their lives, but I understand.
Really? Oh no, just driving around this Lambo my wife bought me by showing feet pics on the internet. We both literally don't have to work for a living. I just stay home and fuck my wife all day. Oh my god. It's a horrible living. Oh no. This is so horrible.
Dude, I mean,
what do you do to pay your mortgage? I pay it with Maxie's leftover tax money.
God damn it.
She's killing, and like she gets so much hate, I'm sure, from all these jealous ass, who are just jealous.
It's never the hot
women. They didn't think of it first, because there ain't nobody out there who wouldn't say they wouldn't do the exact same thing.
Gotta be a pioneer.
If that's all they had to do, and they'd make that kind of money, anyone out there would do that.
It's like, she's horrible, but it's always these like land whale manatee types. Like, it's never these like 9 out of 10s or 10 out of 10s. It's never them.
Yeah.
They're always like, yeah, good for you. And I'm like, huh, interesting. Like,
Oh, it is interesting.
Here's another one to keep an eye on. Maybe I get the discount.
Her branding is just phenomenal.
Because it's
fascinating.
Some people know their audience.
The trip she pulled was hilarious. I mean, and if you don't get it that it's all like a little bit tongue in cheek, then you just don't get it. You know what I mean?
You're just a sweaty virgin.
Yeah, you have to get it. And that's
go
what
jerk
makes
off
it so
and think if it's
funny.
worth getting upset about.
Yeah, that's what makes it so funny.
It's all like Belle gets a hot cream pie, and it's like someone runs up and just smacks her in the face with a pie of whipped cream. I was fucking dying.
Dude,
I'm like, oh my god,
funny. Yeah.
Oh my god, I was like, this woman's a genius.
Yeah, I'd love to talk to her. I think you can pay her like $5,000 and she'll talk to you.
All right.
It's like the top
we'll raise that.
Hang on, I got leftover maxi tax money. I'll make it happen.
Some like YouTube guy did it and got her to like.
Pyrocynical.
No.
Pyrocynical, is that right? No. I know he sent her like $8,000, which like I don't know why you'd do that for a joke.
I guess if you were gonna make $10,000 off your video, it'd be worth it,
Yeah, they get demonetized all the time. Which hey YouTube, don't demonetize me.
To the club.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, that's Belle Delphine, so we've covered that.
See what I can do to a podcast. I didn't even have a script.
That out of there.
But hey,
that was a half-hour.
Stay tuned because she is far from done, and I'm sure she's gonna have more.
We can do a whole podcast.
Dude, you want to do an E-Thought podcast? Let's do an E-Thought podcast next week.
We thought about doing an E-Thought of the Week segment. So,
Dave, I just sent you one. Goddamn.
Maybe we can incorporate that.
She's fine. She's like thick as hell, like thicker than a bowl of oatmeal. Logan.
She's getting off the rails quick. Tim, please come back. We've lost.
I need an adult.
I'm like a pint and a half in, so.
Okay.
I'm also very warm.
Let's bump this along a little bit. We are at the 50-minute mark. It's not bad. We actually were missing our cheers, so how about we catch up real quick?
All right. Well, let me finish my beer or whatever it is.
My cheers. First one goes to the U.S. of A. Baby, July 4th.
Hell yeah! Only country that matters.
All right, David, give me one. We need another beer.
All right, serious note. No more bananas. No.
I
hear about every single banana that you've ever eaten is all from the same strain of bananas, and if it gets one sort of parasite, one sort of like, what do you call it? Not a plague, but like what plants can get. Blight. Yeah, could wipe out all the bananas if there's one strain. So just imagine it's 2048. We're sitting on the beach. You're there. You're eating your last banana, and then they're just gone.
Yeah. No, he's right.
Now look it up.
I'm not saying you're not wrong.
Podcast on GMOs.
I feel like I remember seeing something about this like recently, but
was it recently?
Years ago, I remember seeing something about that. The exact same thing Dave was talking about.
Are not what you buy in the store, essentially. No. And they're like green, and they have like big seeds or something.
They're tiny. Yeah, they're like 1% edible.
Plantains.
Or yeah, I guess.
Nah, totally different than them even.
Hear me this though. What do you? I mean, genetic cloning has come so far that do you think it will be in your lifetime? Will it be possible to even wipe out a certain species or something, or can we just replicate?
That's a good point. Yeah, maybe you couldn't.
You're with material.
I might have just wasted my last.
I don't know. That's all I'm thinking. Like,
Dave, jump on the E-Thought wagon.
E-Thought for Belle Delphine.
E-Thought for president.
Prime Minister.
Yeah. She's gonna buy like Saudi Arabia or some shit.
They're gonna start the Gundam Wars, the E-Thoughts.
Right.
Oh my god.
You heard it here first.
Sign me up for that. Sign me up for that shit.
You heard it here first.
I get a Gundam? Fuck yeah.
Okay, so David's saying no more bananas.
No more bananas.
What do you think about amending it to just something? It's hard to define, but like something major will be like lost. You know what I mean?
Something that we all take for granted.
Yeah, like elephants.
It's kind of what I was going for.
I mean,
I gotta be honest. I could give
a
fuck
bit
about an elephant.
Yeah.
I could give a shit.
Elephants are awesome.
But like, have they been to space? Do they matter that much? You know, like are they vital for the
test for you?
Yeah.
Basically,
the only thing that matters.
They're like, oh no, it's going extinct. I'm like, oh no, all those monuments to advancement of science and everything. Okay. Oh wait, that was all humans.
Yeah.
All right, Pruitt examines a virus. Have you been to space? Yes, I have been to space. I've come here to kill you. Oh, that's cool.
This guy, he's got one up on me. Shit, I guess we die now. Fucking space virus. That's just, I accept that. That's fucking laws of nature.
How about we amend it to no more bananas specifically, but no more like everyday item. Something will like cease to exist. That sort of
straws. Straws are bad.
Well,
we still have straws. They just taste like cardboard.
Fuck it. We'll leave it banana. Who knows? Mine's pretty out there. Pruitt's is like definitely gonna come true, so he clearly won.
I feel like we're all just gonna end up. I feel like we're all gonna end up needing to buy each other like 2 beers. Like one's
in
gonna
our
take
lifetimes, we're gonna be right back here in our retirement homes.
Exactly.
Still recording this.
We all gotta coordinate then.
With probably no viewers. Just still.
Hey, you know what? Maybe that'll be the draw, right? That'll be the draw, right? Look at these guys are like 85 and just.
We have another viewer, so I'm not sure who it is, but welcome if you're out there. I think
Tim joined.
Is it Tim?
I'm on. I'm viewing it. I don't know if that's
it's us 3 and then...
and then plus 1.
It's probably Tim. What's up, Tim?
4 unique viewers.
If it's not Tim. Leave us a comment. I'll talk to you.
Yeah, like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah. Donate to Belle.
Don't report us. Yeah.
She's sponsoring this podcast. She's not. Don't demonetize us.
I can get you a free Pornhub premium
pass.
Say
that.
Legally.
That's completely not true. I retract that statement.
Although if she wants to, I'm not opposed. I'll do it like the pink wig she wears and shit. I'll give a fuck.
I'd love to hear her story. It's gotta be fascinating.
I want to know what makes her tick. Like that's like an interesting person. It's like, oh, whatever. She's just gonna be like naked on the internet, and then she's like, haha, no. I'm like, okay, she's fucking funny. I like.
Okay.
And it's a great cover. Amanda's like, oh, why do you follow her? I was like, look how funny she is.
I'm moving on. Okay, so I'm gonna move on to my final prediction. I actually came up with 2, just in case we have more time to talk about it. My one's one's kind of boring, so I'm going to go with another one, even though we already touched on it with Pruitt's. So mine's also AI centric. I think in our lifetimes we are going to be faced with some sort of immortality, and by that I mean I think the idea, kind of like that Netflix show. I think it's called Carbon.
Altered Carbon.
I didn't watch it completely through because my fiance left me behind. But I think using these like deep fakes and some of this AI technology, we're going to be able to either like replicate or somehow. I mean, I don't know if I'd go so far as this because since we like know nothing about the brain, we really don't. We know very little about the brain, how it fires and stuff. I'm not sure if within our lifetimes we'll be able to like literally download our consciousness into like a hard drive. But I think using like deep fakes and like all like because everything's recorded nowadays, there's so many details about your personality out there nowadays. I think we'll be able to almost replicate your psyche and reproduce it and then put it in a robot, so it'll be like you're almost still there always.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I thought I was gonna do that one, but I didn't think it was like maybe as bold because it just seemed like it seemed inevitable.
Yeah.
It seemed inevitable because like there was also a Black Mirror episode where like what you're saying, this girl's husband or boyfriend or his girlfriend dies, whatever, and they're like missing him, so she takes his phone to this company and they download all his text messages, everything, and then all of a sudden she gets a text from like her dead boyfriend.
Yeah.
And it sounds just like him, has all his mannerisms, It's like he's still alive, but he's alive in her text messages through this new app.
Yeah.
So I could definitely see something like that, which is really creepy. But is there a way to download someone's consciousness, which is really just like, is there enough data for an AI to capture, and then is it smart enough to then fill in all the gaps?
Like put it into place. Because if you really boil down,
of time.
Yeah.
Really.
You can boil down just like any computer language, you can boil down our consciousness into ones and zeros, right? You can boil it down into binary. That's all we are, is on and off. So if you can sort of crack that code, you could hypothetically do that. But then I think the next question is, would we even want to?
No.
I think it would really challenge our humanity. You know what I mean? And and really what made me think about this is the last couple of days not to get super heavy, but my mom passed away like I don't know 3-4 months ago in March, and I still had some of her old text messages, but I was trying to decide if I wanted to like save them or not. And I decided I didn't, because the only ones I really had left, I had my iPhone set to delete after 30 days. The only ones I really had left were like, and I know I'm getting really heavy, but I guess this is kind of a serious topic, so it's okay. It was near the end of her life. She battled cancer for 3 years. A lot of it was just, she didn't have a lot of strength left. So a lot of it was like, hey mom, how are you feeling today? And it was always like, not good, essentially. So I was like, do I even really want to have this left? So I just let it go. I don't think I really wanted that to be your memories. And I guess what I'm getting at is, wouldn't you rather your loved one just sort of fade into a memory rather than having an active, like an active fake of them, or like some sort of download, or them like a robot, you know what I mean? Like something super futuristic, Black Mirror-y type thing.
That's true.
I think that's like another question that's going to come up, is like how, the humanity of
I'm a limited edition,
right.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I'm sorry to get heavy. It's just something I was thinking about today. No. And when I was thinking about this topic, right, I think that's sort of what we're going to have to ask is those two questions. Is one, is it possible? And two, do we even want to? I think.
And then the answer is
going to be people that will to, though. So
yeah,
that's true. But then you're basically just a living like memento mori, a mortal reminder.
Oh, there's also that movie with Johnny Depp. Transcendence.
Yeah, isn't it? Yeah. And then I think there's a movie called like Memento Mori, isn't there, or something like that? It's kind of sort of a
Memento. There's that one.
Memento, yeah.
No, Memento is not that.
But I don't think that's the
maybe
same.
I'm thinking of something different.
Yeah.
I watch movies.
Well, I don't know. I mean, this is what I was just thinking about sort of today while I was trying to think of this topic and about sort of life, death, that sort of thing. It's an interesting question to bring up. Is what are we? We already vastly outlive what the human body should be able to withstand, essentially. And that's why people start breaking down when they hit like 40 or 50, is because the human body really isn't designed to last longer than that.
Nah.
So I would say another really bold prediction is I think we're going to have the first human live to be 150 within our lifetime. It could be one of us. I think that is with...
Okay, Ricky Bobby.
Yeah.
I'm pretty hard to kill.
I forgot about that.
It's like, they're already putting pig hearts and humans. It's like,
there's no reason I can't, expect to live 150, 200 years.
but he's kind of not
wrong. Damn it. Yeah. But I think it's entirely possible. I really do. I think it could be, with growing meat in laboratories and stem cells and sort of thing. Dude,
or that Japanese culture you love so
fast.
much.
Yeah, right.
I know, but I'm like, I don't want to be the first guy to eat that a lot. You know what I mean? Like,
it's tough. Who wants to farm anymore? Honestly, that's what it comes down to.
I have a good one.
Yeah.
This is my bold prediction.
Okay.
That within our lifetimes,
2.0,
it will be immoral to eat meat. Like that just will be barbaric.
Oh.
Like
because the
younger
lab stuff is going to be so good.
Yeah, it'll be so good that like to actually go out and kill an animal is going to seem like you psychopath. Like you won't even be able to do it anymore.
Really?
I
like that. Yeah, I'll add that one in there for you. Yeah.
Oh, Tim posted a picture of the wild Nana in the Discord.
I'm gonna.
Dude, they're like 90% seed. Oh, they are so inedible. Plantains are banging though.
So yeah, Tanya made plantains like.
Yeah,
that's
fry them up, smash them down.
Though.
Yeah, so basically all that Beyond Meat, meatless, meat.
I'm not.
I think that's gonna be. Well, no, I mean right now it's like in its infancy.
But,
like in the future, if it's so good, you can't tell the difference.
That's what we're saying. We're saying that you're gonna prefer it.
Yeah. It's within our lifetime.
It's gonna be that good. It's gonna be that you're nutritious and stuff. Your body's gonna like crave it. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna be like you're gonna eat normal meat. And be like,
Soylent Green.
What is this trash? Yeah.
Soylent Green.
I think that's interesting, and that kind of brings apart, like the idea of hunting and stuff. It's certainly in our DNA to like hunt or to want to do that.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So it's like will we sort of evolve past that? Kind of.
You can maybe get like special permits for it, but it like slaughterhouses raising animals just to kill them is going to be like it's just done.
Then cows and chickens are going to disappear because they don't have any other fucking use except for food.
Essentially, yeah.
To be fair,
that would be.
Well, I mean, dairy cows are different from
Yeah.
And egg chickens are different. Like they all have their own.
Right. They won't disappear completely, but they'll be more of a commodity.
But raising an animal just to kill it, I think that's going away.
Because me and my fiance both grew up on farms, right? So that was, but neither of us went into farming. None of my family really went into farming.
Yeah, exactly.
None of her family went into farming. Our grandparents are getting older, and they don't farm anymore. So, where are we going to have our food from? And that's why when people speak out of that, it's these, against genetically modified food and against these, test tube meat and everything. It's like, then get your ass out in the field and make it. Because nobody wants to do that anymore, man.
It's kind of a bitch.
You think you just walk into the supermarket and food just sprouts overnight into the shelves. Someone's got to make it.
Yeah.
And I don't know. That can honestly be a whole other podcast about farming and GMO.
Yeah, and there's some crazy stuff you can do with the hydroponics, gold growing within skyscrapers.
Right.
Where places where they don't have as much water, they use a fraction of the water by growing it all inside.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting. I really do. I'm no matter what, and I never unveiled my future prediction. So yeah, I was basically saying that you'll be able to download your consciousness and almost respawn, but will you even want to?
Respawn. You get a timer.
No spawn kills.
my other one, just because I think we're a little over an hour now, but we have a little bit of time.
You already teased it.
My other one was I think we're going to enter into some sort of Cold War conflict between. I was going to say it's between two superpowers, but a lot of people want to say it'll be the United States. I don't see how it couldn't be, honestly. We're going to enter into another Cold War era situation. Could be with the Russians. Could be with I don't know. Somebody. I think there's going to be another. I do think as a species we are sort of evolving past armed conflict. I really do think that in the future it's going to become increasingly rare and things are going to be worked out diplomatically. But I do think within our lifetimes we're going to see another Cold War sort of standoff between two major superpowers. I think the United States will be involved. And I think I don't know who the other
aggressor.
Yeah,
the contender.
Right. I don't know.
I don't know. I kind of disagree with that, because I think our problems are moving past armed conflicts, and Cold War sort of implies that. I think it's all just economic wars at this point, and really a lot of that is just war psychology.
Yeah.
If you think back to 2 years ago, Fire and Fury, I mean, we all thought North Koreans were crazy, and North Koreans all thought we wanted to kill them.
Right.
So it was just like what looked like a military conflict was actually a psychology problem.
Huh.
And Trump just sort of changed the psychology of that whole situation.
Yeah.
And that's not my that actually comes from Scott Adams, who I listen to a lot. I thought that was
very
a really
interesting
take on the situation, because now it looks like war with North Korea is like, that's not even close to being a thing now.
Wow. Yeah.
But to go back not even 2 years, and it was, man, what if they hit California?
Mm-hmm.
You know, or something crazy like that.
Oh no, not California.
Anywhere on the continental, U.S. or Hawaii.
God has been trying to pull that thing into the fucking sea. I don't know why we just don't blow it up and fucking like, just let it. It's on fire. It's exploding. It's flooding. Like, just, you remember the fucking the plagues and shit? Like, locusts are next. It's gonna rain frogs.
Hey, California has some of the best weather in the United States. I will give them that.
Right, when they're not on fire or mudslides or shaking.
That's in the news. It's
like PA's disgustingly humid. And I'll take that. I'll take that.
California is dry and sunny, it just all the time.
And on fire.
Well, you can fix that.
It's not always on
It's
fire.
preventable.
It's just like
It's completely preventable.
Yeah.
No, you can't clear brush. That makes fires. Shut up. Move tree bed.
Well, that's it, guys. I mean, we did our predictions.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I think we've got.
I'm already gonna claim myself the winner, so
we'll see.
I think
I'll take those beers now.
I think you've got
definitely
some good ones. I think Pruitt's are funny.
The furthest out.
Not really, though. I think yours might be almost some of the safest ones, except for the Booker one. I don't think that's gonna happen, but the other two definitely happen.
Never say never. Hey,
trust
less
me,
than
I would love it to happen, but it won't.
Nah.
That would already have traction if that was.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Well,
we'll see.
Yeah.
Now we have a pedophile get interrogated, so that should be interesting.
Yeah,
Which one?
Was that Epstein?
That billionaire guy just got arrested for like.
That's the one that was like flying him out to the fucking like molesting island or whatever. Yeah. Oh, he's gonna sing. It's gonna be great.
I think he will.
That phone's ready, prepare to run ops.
I hope he indicts a Democratic candidate. That's the only way this could get better.
Oh my god!
Even if it's one of the outside ones, it'd make me really happy.
Right? Fuck it. Bernie's going down.
All right.
I didn't touch.
I say let's wrap this thing up. So yeah, that's the end of. We'll call this one episode 3. We're gonna like sort of relabel episode 2.3 and 2.6 as I think political episodes. Pilsner. Yeah, we had the debates that we wanted to cover, and as painful as that was to watch, I think we had some good commentary. So once I get that up, please go check it out. Let us know what you thought. As always, feel free to drop us a comment. We definitely appreciate you subscribing and following, all that good stuff. If you enjoyed what you heard, we will do whatever we can to improve. Again, none of us certainly have this sort of background, so we're all really learning as we go. We started late today, just trying to figure out our software. So, we have some hiccups.
Oh, we got it.
We're definitely going to get better at it as we go, as we figure things out. Stick with us. Let us know what you think. But besides that, we'll shoot for next Monday, I think 7 p.m. going live, right?
Yeah.
Do you want to keep it on Mondays, or would you rather do Sundays again? I think Mondays are better in my opinion, but
works for me.
Well, we'll talk about that off air. But we'll put out some. We'll let you know when we're going live. I think that's it, guys. Anything else you want to say?
All good.
Theft.
Taxation is theft. No doubt about it. All right. Take it easy, everybody.
All right.
Later, guys.